Hey guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And in today's video, we're going to take you through a day in our life. And as you can see, our day started out with some snow flurries. We live in Georgia, so this is all the snow that we got, but we were really happy to see it. It's actually really pretty coming down, and it came down for a little bit of the day, but no accumulations. This is all we get here in the South. First up, my son decided to start with his Good and the Beautiful typing. He really enjoys this program, so if you're looking for something for your kiddos, you may want to look into this. After typing, he moved on to working on his YouTube channel. If you have kiddos, he would love it if they would check out D3's Movies. He's going to start reviewing movies, but he also has some past videos where he reviewed toys, and he would love for you to check it out and hit that subscribe button and support him as well. After making his YouTube video, he decided to sit down and make a list of movies that are coming out that he would like to review and past movies that he's already seen that he wants to share with everybody over on his channel. So we're about to do our read aloud, and my son's asked that I not film during our read aloud today. Some days he is all for being on front of the camera, and other days he doesn't really want to do it. And so I like to respect his wishes and do what he asks. So he doesn't want to be filmed during that, but I do want to show you what we're reading. So during the Inventions and Idea unit, we are going to be reading Ben and Me. So that's going to be our read aloud. Now we're kind of far into Inventions and Ideas, but that's okay. We've just finished up Flora and Ulysses. By the time you watch this video, Flora and Ulysses will already be on Disney Plus, but for us, during this filming, it comes out this Friday. So we just finished up that book, which is an excellent read. If you like Brave Rider and you use arrow guides, there is an arrow guide for Flora and Ulysses, so you can check that out. But we're going to be reading Ben and Me. We've really been enjoying Who Was Thomas Alva Edison. We're about at chapter 4 or 5, and we've learned lots of interesting things about him. These books are excellent too. And then we're going to go right on into our How Great Is Our God. We're still finishing that up. So we're going to go read aloud, and then we'll continue the rest of our day. After doing our read aloud devotional, my son decided he wanted to work on some things that were clipped on his bucket. So we use the bucket system by Sage Homeschooling or Sage Family. I'll try to make a video about that soon, but he's off doing that. So I'm using that time to work on some professional development. If you don't know, I was a teacher for 13 years in the public school system. And after I homeschool Daniel all the way through high school, I do plan on returning back to teaching. So I want to make sure that I keep my certification up to date. I don't want to let it go. So I'm working on some professional development here. It's about teaching writing to children in K through 2, which is really my passion. So I'm enjoying this class that's online, and this is what I'm working on until he's ready to move on with our day. Can you pick any of it up? You can make the world's tiniest snowball.
I can ask, and I can moonwalk on this.
While he's taking a Minecraft break, I wanted to show you, and I just hit the camera, I'm sorry. I want to show you this planner that I got off of Amazon. Yes, I changed planners 563,000 times during a school year. I just can't settle on one. I'm sorry, I'll admit it. I want all the planners, but I really chose this one for the simplicity of it. So this is the Chaos Coordinator Homeschool Lesson Planner. This one is just like a bound book. She also has one that is spiral bound. I'll link them both. The one that's spiral bound has a lot more in it, but I just needed something for the rest of this year, so I went with this one, and I want to say I paid like $8 for it. And you guys, it's so cute. Now I do have it like clipped, but I really like it. I do like the font that's in it. I like how she's got place to write the subjects. The days of the week are over here. And I know with using Gather Round, you don't have to separate it by the subjects, but that's just the way I'm recording it for right now. And these are done in terms of 6 weeks. And then at the end of the 6 weeks, when you're about to start a new set of 6 weeks, you have a things to do. And so it's like week 30, week 31. So it'd be an excellent way to keep up with your year. And I'm telling you, it's just really simple. There are no monthly layouts. There's no attendance tracker, nothing like that. It's very simple. It's really just a spot to record your weekly work. I do think there's a spot in the front for field trips, but I'm telling you, this is like very simple. If you're looking for simplicity, then you may want to check this out. So like I said, I will link this down below. So now we've moved on to Gather Round. That's our absolute favorite curriculum if you're new here. And we are working on the Inventions and Ideas unit. So I'm reading from the teacher's guide, and I do stop and discuss, or I do stop and show videos, or we stop and do activities to kind of break up the reading because it can be a lot for one sitting. And while I'm reading, he is working on his notebooking page. And the notebooking pages always ask different things of them. Sometimes they're drawing, sometimes they're writing facts, sometimes they're writing sentences. It really just depends on the day and the topic. So that's what he's working on. And I love to hear what he has to say about what we're reading. And I love the discussion that we get from these units. And this is what the notebooking page looks like. So that day we were talking about inventions and ideas that dive. And so we did learn about scuba and about some people who are instrumental in scuba diving. Our next page in our student notebook was our science experiment. So I just wanted to show you what it looked like. I was actually reading this to him. That's why you see me pointing. It was all about air pockets, and he had actually already seen this experiment on YouTube, so he could tell me all about it beforehand. So don't discredit YouTube if your kids want to watch it, because he tends to learn a lot from YouTube, very useful information. And he explained this whole experiment to me without reading this page. He knew exactly why it happened, and he just kind of walked me through it. So sometimes I learn from him. I'm not always the one reading the information and sharing things with him. He shares so much with me that he picks up and learns on YouTube. So this was our science experiment for the day, and it was actually a lot of fun, and I learned a lot from him. So after doing the experiment, he sat back down to record his observations to tell if his hypothesis was correct, which it was because he's already seen this experiment. But what I like about this page is it includes a paragraph to read to your kids to explain how this experiment actually works. And that's very helpful to know the why behind everything. This next page was his language arts for the day, and it was talking about how media sometimes exaggerates things. And so we had a really good discussion about why would they use exaggeration, and what does it do? Does it instill fear? Does it make you pay more attention? And then he had to take some headlines and take out the exaggerations and just write them as they should be. It was a really good lesson. Now I'm just pulling up my Google Classroom to some of the videos that I'd saved for today. His writing assignment was to put himself in the shoes of someone who was discovering the Titanic under the ocean for the first time, and kind of sharing his experience through a journal entry about what they saw, what did the ship look like, what artifacts did they find. And so what I wanted to do, even though we've seen the movie and I don't feel like that's a very accurate depiction of what someone might actually see, we watched a couple of videos that I'd put in Google Classroom to see actual pictures that were taken of the wreckage, so that he could kind of see what the boat looked like, what things they found, and then he would have a better understanding of what he could write. He loves to do journal entries anyway, like he makes those up all the time, so he really enjoyed this page. So this was a part of his writing assignment for that day, to just describe what he saw when he went down there and what kind of things that they found. All right, the last part of our day is this game show review. So this is going to be a lot of fun. One thing I've noticed in this Inventions and Ideas unit is there is some really neat ways to review what they've learned. So in artists, we did a lot of narration, and there's a little bit of that in here, but I have noticed that the way that you review is a little different each time. So this one is a game show. You pick a host, which could be me or him. Either one would be fine, but I'm going to be the host. He's going to be the contestant. I'm going to ask him these questions over the lessons that we've done previously, and he has to work his way up the pyramid to see if he can get to the top. Okay, number 1, Thomas Edison was the first to patent A, Kevlar, B, scuba, C, the light bulb.
The light bulb.
What item was likely found in the Titanic excavation? A, a camera, B, jewelry, C, DVDs.
Jewelry.
He did really good on this game show review, and we actually had a lot of fun doing it with each other. Just when you think the kids aren't paying attention, I promise you they are. They pull out the nuggets that are important to them, and they can really answer questions about what you've read. Sometimes the reading does seem overwhelming with Gather Round, but honestly, the kids do learn so much, and I could tell from this little game show review that he was learning. All right, guys, that's the end of our homeschool day. We are starving and ready to eat lunch. It's about 1 o'clock, and that's what a typical day looks like in our house. If you have any questions about Gather Round Homeschool or any of the things that we did in our video today, make sure you leave them in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for watching.